Hello. This is a sample audio version of the book Religion on Middle-earth, Spirituality and Tradition in The Lord of the Rings by Fabio Valezquez. It includes the introduction. Links for the book at Amazon are below in the video description. Introduction. This text aims at developing the concept and practice of joining two fields we usually do not picture together, theology and literature. To help unfold this interaction, two books that compose the trilogy The Lord of the Rings have been selected, and through them we will approach the religious phenomenon. The opening chapter presents the chosen methodology, bibliographical research, inspired by the works of Father Antonio Manzato. These texts develop on reflections about the dialogue between theology and literature, basis for a dialogue, and brief overview of theology and literature. The Catholic author is a proponent of the idea that theology can greatly profit from the interaction with literature, an entire field of study which is quite new in terms of academic investigations. It brings forth a variety of possibilities to approach the religious and mystical phenomena, opening up alternative ways to think about the theological. Lastly, I would like to point out the increase in range when it comes to the percentage of population that will be within reach, since approaching religion via new and attractive ways is going to draw the attention of people who have historically been completely out of its scope. To reach our goal, the development of a prolific interaction between two fields of knowledge, 5 segments of them have been picked. 3 of them derive from the first book, The Fellowship of the Ring, and 2 from the second volume, The Two Towers. Their spiritual and religious characteristics have been taken into consideration. Then, 5 key expressions inspired on the Christian Catholic terminology were established to assist us in our deliberation of the 5 excerpts and to aid us consider them appropriately. They are prayer, song of thanksgiving and praise, petition, intercession, and prophecy. The textual fragments will be presented according to their chronological order, since the main characters go on a journey through Middle-earth, beginning in the west and ending in the east. Maps are available in the main body of the text, as well as in the attachment section. In the first chapter, interpreting Tolkien's work through the magisterium of the Church, the 2 articles by Father Antonio Manzato are going to be studied. Special attention was given to those concepts concerning the exchange involving literature and religion. The author exposes a number of perspectives to guide this conversation, for example, anthropology, comparative studies, and mysticism, among others. Our study will take hold of the mystical viewpoint. Therefore, this is going to be the tone leading the conversation between theological and literary. This outlook has been applied throughout this book, since all chosen passages reveal transcendental aspects. In Chapter 1.2, the theological tradition discloses even another face, in the shape of a social religious teaching, also addressed during the opening chapter. It takes form as the principles of the social doctrine of the Church. This document is attributed to Pope John Paul II, and it was first released in 2004. It goes along well with the Gospel's teachings, since it aims at a more benevolent humanity, which would allow us to begin to appreciate the heavenly reality right here on earth. Not only Catholics, but also the overall public will benefit from this text produced by the Pontifical Council for Justice and Peace. A link to the official version is available in the bibliographical references section. The goal here is to establish connections relating the beings known in Tolkien's work as hobbits to fundamental contents ministered by the social doctrine of the Church. Frodo Baggins and Samwise Gamgee, 2 hobbit friends, are the main characters in the present research, Therefore, they will take the lead along the course of Chapter 1.2. The hobbits will first be viewed holistically as a society. More specifically, we are focusing on the population of the region called the Shire. Afterwards, Sam and Frodo enter the stage, and we have the chance to look at them a bit closer, revealing how aligned with the Church's social teaching they really are. In Chapter 2, Manifestations of Spirituality and the Fellowship of the Ring, we find 3 of the selected 5 fragments. Frodo and Sam make appearances in all of them. During the exposure of the first one, they are protected and blessed by enlightened people. A group of elves was crossing a forested area. A celebration was being held among the trees in a remote part of the Shire. Elven chants of prayer could be heard. The hobbits were enchanted by this mysterious and benevolent group. Indeed, a better moment could not be. In pursuit of our halfling friends, there were fierce black riders from Mordor. Then we move to the second fragment as they are rescued from a critical situation by no other than the most prominent inhabitant of the Old Forest, Tom Bombadil. He approached the situation chanting tunes of hope and joy, which suddenly turned the tables. Later on, the hobbits would even be welcome at his house, where they met Goldberry, Tom's wife. Before everyone went to bed, Bombadil approached the group of friends and taught them some verses, words of protection, a way to call for aid. It would prove to be most necessary. Next is the third fragment, and we will learn that Sam and Frodo were transporting the One Ring to Rivendell. They meant to leave the golden object there, a safe haven inhabited by elves. However, the 4 hobbits would even manage to join the Council of Elrond, a gathering of community leaders who came from the different free peoples of Middle-earth and had the common objective of deliberating over the One Ring's destiny. Over that occasion, the human Boromir exposed his prophetic dream and explained it was also shared by his brother Faramir. The mystical dream carried information regarding the warring situation in Middle-earth, and the particular lesson each sibling learned from it would come to define their fates. In the final chapter, Legacy and Intercession in the Two Towers, the 4th fragment will be analyzed. There, we're going to watch Faramir teach the Hobbit duo a short orison to be prayed before meals. Their first encounter was quite turbulent, but following a stormy initial meeting, the captain of Gondor and the halflings reached a peaceful balance. The human was a powerful individual who led a host of men. From a practical viewpoint, he had in his hands the chance to exploit the situation. But in the end, he allowed himself to stroll along another path. Faramir managed to examine the circumstances correctly, thus enabling the halflings to depart and meet their inevitable quest. Later, we come to the 5th fragment. We meet the end. The hobbits have reached Mordor. They had been following the pathways through the mountains, north of Minas Morgul, when a sudden realization came to their minds. Their spines went ice-cold. There was no doubt. The place they found themselves in was a lair to some unknown creature, possibly quite dangerous. Gollum had deceived them. Frodo and Sam's only chance of survival would be a miracle. Maybe some support they could not have foreseen. We will see the ring-bearer remember the gift he had received from Galadriel. A very special present, the Starglass. Then, an inspired interaction with this shining object would ignite the manifestation of an unexpected spiritual panorama, drastically altering the circumstances which followed. Thus, different contents from the Lord of the Rings display situations places, and characters recognizable within the religiousness and tradition of Christianity through the Roman Church. Such a methodological approach finds foundation on three cornerstones: the aforementioned writings by Father Antonio Manzato, selected contents from the social religious principles taught by the social doctrine of the Church, and chosen subjects found in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, particularly those regarding the human and theological virtues. These bedrocks provide us with a multiplicity of interesting associations relating Tolkien's works, who was a Catholic believer, and the universal scope of the Church. They bring to our appreciation new perspectives involving the use of fantastic literature while respectfully discussing the subject of religion. They likewise promote values and concepts acknowledged by the magisterium. I humbly invite anyone who values justice and peace to ride alongside for a while.